All right, player on the left is going first. This is a round 4 match here. We are going to be seeing, it looks like most likely a Lugia deck here, because we see a single strike Stonjourner as the start, along with a Capturing Aroma flipping heads that will get an evolution Pokemon, which is that Archeops. We are going to be probably discarding that with an Ultra Ball, and hey, there it is, discarding a single strike energy as well. Not the most ideal thing to discard, but you do have the ability to use Urn of Vitality to put that back in the deck. Also, hi guys, NinjaNick333. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of stuff. Hit that notification bell, all that stuff. I usually say this at the end of the video, but why not say it at the beginning every once in a while? Yeah, so Champions League, Yokohama. Fun stuff, new format, E-Block on, rotation happens, Scarlet and Violet legal, all that good stuff. If you've been watching all these videos, you know all of that already. We just see a single strike energy to the active Stonjourner and a pass. Not too bad of a start for Lugia. You did get a Lugia V onto the bench, and you have an Archeops in the discard pile. That's pretty much what you want, so you can't really complain. You are against some sort of Lost Box deck here on the right. Fun fact, a lot of people call the straight Lost Box deck Lost Box, and then they call things like a Gudra that has Lost Box in it just Gudra. They call it Giratina, even though it's Giratina Lost Box. So, do you consider all variations of things that utilize Colress's Experiment and Comfey? Do you call all of them Lost Box, or do you only call the ones that do not include Gudra and Giratina Lost Box? That is my question for you. Put that in the comment section below. Because I call all of them Lost Box. I just call them different variations. But a lot of people are very adamant that Gudra is not Lost Box. They're adamant that Giratina is not Lost Box. And I don't understand why. It is lost. It is a box. There are things in it, therefore it is box, and it has lost zone stuff, therefore it is lost. It is Lost Box. Okay, tangent over. We do have double Comfey coming to the bench. That is exactly what you want to see. You either want to see double Comfey, or you want to see Comfey and Radiant Greninja. Depends on what you prize. We also see Hisuian Heavy Ball coming down here. So we will likely see a basic Pokemon come off of... looks like we must have failed that? Yep, and the judge is putting back out the prize cards, so we grabbed a basic Pokemon because the Heavy Ball got shuffled in. It's not in the discard pile, but it did not get benched yet. We do go for the Nest Ball to get the Radiant Greninja, so we do have pretty much everything that we want in play right now. We are going to use our first flower selecting after using the Switch Cart to Lost Zone one of the top 2 cards of our deck and put the other one into hand. We are going to Lost Zone another Nest Ball. We have another Pokemon in play. Also, cool Call of Legends energy. I like that. Actually, that's an English one because you see the yellow border. It's really interesting that they're allowed to use English cards which have a different card back. The Japanese ones, for those that don't know, have a different card back than the rest of the world. So yeah. But yeah, in Japan they are allowed to use Japanese cards and English cards because English is the second most common language there. It's a little surprising that in America we aren't allowed to use Spanish cards because Spanish is a highly prevalent language in this country, even though the most common one is English. But whatever, it's just racism at work, I guess. We are just gonna keep using our Comfeys. Flower selecting some more. It would be really nice to see a Colress's Experiment to go into the 4 cards in the Lost Zone here. Because then, if we were to do that, we then can attack with Cramorant this turn. However, the Stonjourner might have too much HP to be knocked down one hit here. We do see Clara does go to the Lost Zone. We are going to see another... it looks like a retreat this time to use another flower selecting. And here is the Colress's Experiment. I'm going to look at the top 5 cards. Lost Zone 3, put 3... Or Lost Zone 2, put 3 in your hand. Oh my god. Trying to talk faster than my brain can compute. Yeah, so we are down a boss's orders now since that is in the Lost Zone. That could always come up. Also, this is a cool art for Colress's experiment. I do like the variations of ball cards that are on it, and the fact that he is eating like a sandwich or a malasada or something. I don't know what he's eating. All I know is that it makes me hungry even though I just ate dinner. Well, I guess I ate dinner like 4 hours ago, but still. And just a pass here. We do not have the way to switch back into the Cramorant. So, a little unfortunate there because after having escape roped that Lugia to the active, it would have been really great to hit 110 onto that. Especially if your opponent does miss out on the Lugia V-Star, you can just two-shot with the Cramorant and it's really great. A lot of these Lugia decks are actually playing Great Ball. It's really funny when Great Ball is a meta-relevant card. Because Great Ball is such a bad card. You look at the top 7 cards of your deck, find a Pokemon, put it in your hand. It's so bad, man. I think people were playing Great Ball in Malamar for a while, like a year ago. Like a full year ago. But, yeah. Yeah, Great Ball has been utilized quite a few times over the course of its life. Ooh, unfortunate we do not have a second Archeops in the discard pile. Only are able to use Summoning Star to get one colorless Pokemon from the discard pile, one Archeops. We can use this one Archeops' Primal Turbo to put 2 special energies from our deck onto one of our Pokemon. We're going to choose that Lugia. We have the double Turbo already. We're going to put Gift and V-Guard energy onto it. The 2 perfect selections for those 2 remaining energies. For those who don't know, Gift energy, when your Pokemon is knocked out, allows you to draw until you have 7 cards in your hand. And that would be before you promote a new Pokemon. And then the V-Guard energy does reduce the damage taken by V Pokemon by 30. So this Lugia effectively, if you want to one-shot it, has 310 HP. We are going to see a Colress's experiment come out here. We're going to Lost Zone 2 of those, put 3 in the hand, you know how it is. We do now have 6 cards in the Lost Zone. Okay, yeah, I just counted. I just wanted to double check. We are going to use Switch Cart. We are going to... Or maybe we just Flower Selected and that Colress was from last turn. He did play with the discard pile. It made me think that he played that Colress. But I think that was the one from last turn. Ooh, even got a secret rare Fighting Energy. It's kind of nice looking. A lot of glare on the camera, though. So, I mean, it wouldn't be bad to just hit with Cramorant this turn. But if you are able to get up to Mirage Gate and use that on a Raikou V, if you're playing that, that would be pretty good. Fill your bench up. You might be able to get to a one-shot on Lugia. Let's see. 6. Yes, you would be able to one-shot Lugia. They do not have Dunsparce in play, so that would be perfectly fine. So we just Raihan the Psychic Energy to the Greninja, and then we're going to Mirage Gate. So we can Mirage Gate one Water Energy to it, but we cannot Mirage Gate a second Water Energy to it. You have to select 2 different energy cards, 2 different colors. And again, yet another one of those Call of Legends energies. Well, no, actually not Call of Legends. That's a Heart Gold Soul Silver base energy. The Call of Legends ones are hollow. They only come reverse hollow in Call of Legends. And then there are promo ones. They're promo Call of Legends. So they're also hollow. But yeah, we are able to attach return to the Greninja. So the Raihan Mirage Gate and attach return fully powers up a Greninja. This is not the worst play here, because you can put 90 onto the Archeops and 90 onto the Lugia, just softening up the Lugia. Discard 2 of the energies here. And yeah, I think you definitely want to go Archeops, because then it is 60 damage away from being knocked out. You can just snipe some damage to it with a Sableye in the future, or if you recycle your Radiant Greninja, you can attack it again on the bench. But Sableye is a much more efficient attacker to finish this off. If there were 2 Archeops in play, you'd probably use that Greninja to hit both of the Archeops, and then they would both be at 60 remaining, and then you would go in with the Sableye, 60 to both of those, and knock them both out at the same time, and that is a really great way to play that. We do see Tower of Darkness is coming down here. Tower of Darkness is a single strike card, and it allows you to discard a single strike card to draw 2. It is probably one of the best stadiums to be playing in Lugia right now, since you have so many single strike cards. You're playing the single strike energy, the Urn of Vitality, the Stone Journers, the Tyranitar Vs, and of course more of the stadiums. So you can always discard a stadium with the stadium. Just get, more consistent. Almost attaches what I think is a boss's orders to that Stone Journer on the bench. Kind of funny there. But instead attaches a regenerative energy. And then plays Judge, so both players are going to shuffle their hands in and redraw 4 cards. That is pretty detrimental to Lost Box decks. As I keep saying, Lost Box wants to keep their hands very large so that they have all of their options in hand at all time. However, once they get judged, they have a hard time rebuilding their hand back up, because, you've already utilized so many resources to switch those Comfeys around. Your Colress's experiments do not come back. You've used maybe 4 flower selectings and 2 Colress's experiments to get that hand over the course of 2 turns, and then you get judged into a 4-card hand, and now you have to spend 2 turns building back up to that same hand size. It just feels really bad, especially since you have to Lost Zone even more cards that could potentially be relevant later in the game that you might need to win. It just kind of snowballs from there. So if you judge your opponent 2, even 3 times in a game and they're playing Lost Box, you can just win off of that sometimes. But of course, my opponents always draw the God Hands with Lost Box, so what can you do? So we will have to see what this Lost Box deck is capable of doing this turn with their 4 cards and their draw for turn. And their 1 flower selecting they have guaranteed here, so they are going to Lost Zone. It looks like maybe some sort of V Pokemon. I can't really tell what that is. It looks gold, and I see V in the corner. But that's all I can tell. I have no idea what that is otherwise. Probably a Lugia V-Star, if I would have to guess. That's probably the most commonly played gold card in Lugia. Or no, this isn't the Lugia deck. What am I talking about? This is a Lost Box deck. The hell is that? Maybe it's a Raikou V? I don't know. I don't think there's a gold Raikou, though. Whatever. No more rambling. We are going to use Colress's Experiment. We are going to Lost Zone 2 more cards, put 3 more cards in hand, yada yada yada. The hand is being rebuilt, but it is not quite where it was before. You have 9 cards. Yeah, like 8 cards in hand or something. 7 or 8 cards in hand now. We can Energy Recycler. Looks like 4 energy cards back into the deck, but that is, of course, not going to do you too good unless you have maybe a Mirage Gate in hand as well. Get those energies into play. You could put 1 on your active and 1 onto the Sableye, retreat and attack with the Sableye. That would be a really good play for this turn. Ah, and there it is, the Mirage Gate. So we are likely going to see the knockout of this Archeops this turn. But your opponent already has 3 attackers built up, so getting rid of the Archeops may not honestly be the best, but it will prevent that Luminion from going anywhere during this game. So you might actually want to put the 60 on the 6 damage counters on the Archeops, and then you could put 60 to the Luminion, and then you're 1 Cramorant hit away from knocking that out. And then your path to victory will be the Lugia, Luminion, Archeops, and then 1 of the Stone Journers. You still have all 6 prize cards remaining. Your opponent has already taken 2. You got to start taking prize cards now if you want to have any chance to coming back in this game. So we are deciding where we are going to be putting these damage counters. We are going to put 60 to the Archeops to knock it out. That is definitely correct. Even putting the damage to the Lugia would be fine, in my opinion. Looks like we are going to stack some onto the Stonjourner. Looks like both Stonjourners. So, looks like 30 each? Yeah. So, 60 to the Archeops, 30 each to the two Stonjourners. How much HP does a Stonjourner have? Battle Style Stonjourner. It has 130, so that leaves them both with 100 left. So I think I would have liked to see just 2 damage counters to each of them. And then you would have had an additional 2 to put wherever you like. So then you could put those just maybe on the Lugia to soften it up a little bit more. Because a Cramorant will still knock out a Stonjourner with 1 less damage counter on each of them. And putting any additional damage on the Stonjourners doesn't get it close enough to being knocked out by a Greninja in the future, so. Because you would be at 100 if you split it evenly. And if you don't split it evenly and you put 4 on one and 2 on the other, then the Greninja can only knock out one of the 2, so. So we are, again, flower selecting. We have taken 1 prize card. Your opponent's already taken 3. So we're going to have to get something big going down this turn. If we have access to something along the lines of Raikou V, I would like to see it now. But with the energy colors that we have, I haven't seen any lightning, so we might not be playing any lightning attackers. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, this deck usually plays Dragonite. Sometimes it plays Raikou V. We've got to be playing Water and Psychic at the very least. Maybe we're playing... No, I think all the Amazing Rares rotated, so we wouldn't be... Or no, we would still have the... We would still have the Kyogre, right? The one Kyogre that can do bench damage to multiple Pokemon? We might still have that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think that that's a very good card to be playing anymore, though. But we do see yet again another Colress's Experiment. So as I said, the judge does disrupt it, but we have rebuilt our hand size over these couple of turns. So we are going to Escape Rope. It's going to force that Luminion active. And again, that's why I might have liked to see some of that damage come down on the Luminion, but either way, you're probably going to be forced to go through those Stonjourners. But again, your opponent has 3 prize cards remaining, and they have 3 attackers fully powered up. So you have to have some sort of plan to be able to get through those over the next 3 turns while your opponent, like, doesn't attach to the Luminion. A knockout of this Luminion this turn would be stellar. So is there a way you can piece that together? It just depends on what this Lost Box deck is exactly playing. I'm like falling off the screen for some reason today. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like leaning super far back. Just sitting at a weird angle. And just hit with Cramorant 110. So again, so that would have been a knockout on this Luminion if you put this 60 damage there instead of on the 2 Stonjourners. So you'd be even on prize cards here had you done that. So that goes to show that maybe putting it on the Stonjourners was not the correct play. We do see a Capturing Aroma, Flipping Tails. That means you search your deck for a basic Pokemon. We are just going to thin the deck of a Lugia V. Really good to play these cards out just to get cards out of your deck that you don't necessarily want to draw into in future turns. We are going to attach a Regenerative Energy just to retreat the Luminion. We were able to just use that Luminion to soak up some damage. We're completely free to do that because of the fact your opponent didn't put the 60 damage on it. We are going to discard the Urn of Vitality with the Tower of Darkness to draw 2. And just take the knockout for 1 more prize. And we are now ahead 3 prize cards still. So is there a way that we can come back from this? Ooh, looks like Cry of Destruction Yveltal out of nowhere gets powered up by a Raihan and an attach return. Ooh. So that Cry of Destruction Yveltal, even though it says 25th as the promo stamp that is on there, that is our one with the Pikachu stamp in the English language. So we are going to see the retreat. We are going to put up Cry of Destruction Yveltal, and we're likely going to knock off all 3 energy off of this Lugia V. And this deck could almost double attaches, but he catches it fast enough. And yeah, he could potentially just win this game off of the back of Cry of Destruction Yveltal. If your opponent does not have the energy in deck. Oh, and because the Archeops is already out of play, this Lugia, the only way that it can do anything is if you have another double turbo to hard attach and retreat. But it looks like no, just a gift energy is coming down here. So now on this next turn, you could knock off the energy off of the Lugia as well as 2 of the energies off of these Stonejourners. I would say probably pick one of the single strike energies off of each of them. Looks like he is searching his deck for a Pumpkaboo to just put in his hand, likely to thin his deck of yet another card. And this Lost Box deck, out of nowhere, because he was able to take out that Archeops earlier and has this Cry of Destruction Yveltal, just knows this is the matchup, I guess. You teched for this Lugia matchup with that Cry of Destruction Yveltal, and your opponent cannot do anything. These Lugia decks do not play a lot of switching options. That's why I love playing at least one Escape Rope in this deck. Some people also like playing Bird Keeper. I think you should be playing both. I just hate Bird Keeper personally. Looks like we are going to Clara, get the Sableye set back up again. And we are going to Cry of Destruction yet again. We are going to knock off... Ooh, looks like we chose the regenerative energy. I disagree on that. I would have gotten the single strike energy off of that Stonejourner. Because if they don't have another single strike energy to attach... Well, I guess if you earn a Vitality, you could put the energy back, right? So I guess maybe that is correct. But he did already discard 1 Earn a Vitality with the Stadium card. So yeah, this Cry of Destruction Yveltal is just going to completely run your opponent out of energy cards. And then you can just come in with Sableye and knock out whatever you want. You can even take a turn where you take all 5 remaining prize cards at the same time. And it looks like the opponent is conceding. You don't see that a lot in Japanese games. They usually play out the full game no matter what. And yeah, I do believe that the opponent conceded to the Lost Box deck because there is no way to play the game anymore. Because the Archeops was taken out, there was no way to charge these guys back up, and that Cry of Destruction put in a lot of work. So that goes to show you, if you're playing Lost Box, maybe you should be playing Cry of Destruction Yveltal. But as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you are notified when new videos like this go live. And we will see you guys next time. Man, that was a good game.